This is Selena Yvette, host of Stories from Planet Earth. Thanks for listening to the following show on Public House Media.
Hello. Welcome, and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast. I am your host, Jenna Burt. I'm a military spouse of 10 years, a health and fitness enthusiast, a registered dental assistant, and a mom. I want to thank you all for being here with me today, and if you find that today's episode resonates with you, or you know somebody else who would love to hear today's episode, please feel free to share this episode. Also, if you have any feedback for me, I greatly appreciate any and all of it, good, bad, or otherwise. Feel free to email me at confessionsofamilspouse@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at confessionsofamilspouse or on Facebook at Confessions of a Military Spouse. I am so excited because I have a special guest on my show today. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So on today's episode, I have Miss Monica Fullerton with a company called Spousely with me. And thank you, Monica, for joining me today and being on my show.
Thanks, Jenna. Thanks for having me.
So I actually believe I found your company through Instagram, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And I love to find other spouse-owned companies and really dive into them and find out what they're all about because, you know, everybody has a driving force. And so with that being said, I want you, Monica, to talk a little bit about Spousely and what it is and why you got started and how it got started and everything like that.
Yeah, I would love to. So I will take you back from where the idea started. I am a Air Force spouse, a twin mom, an entrepreneur, and I also have been in the corporate world for the past 7.5 years. Throughout our military life, we obviously have gone through the good, the bad, and the change. It's always, not easy for us spouses to have to relocate and be able to stick with the career that we really wanted to be in, whether we went to school for that industry or, we're trying to find something remote or a job that is flexible for us because let's face it, we do have to move around quite a bit. So I was really actually lucky. I started with a company in corporate world about 7 years ago, and I was able to work remote and travel all the time. But then I started seeing that that was not the case for everyone. And it just kind of became a little bit more of a struggle. And I started to notice that a lot of other military spouses were entrepreneurs like myself. And I thought that was so neat because, at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur means flexibility and having a life and being able to be there for our kids and make all the pieces really come together. So I started thinking, being a small business owner myself, I do have 2 t-shirt lines that I started in college with my mother-in-law. And that's always been, awesome. It's been a hobby that we've turned into a business. And, we sell on different platforms and we've gone down that route and different websites and all of that good stuff. And I started thinking, I was like, wow, we've met, so many amazing people that are so inspiring, whether they make products or sell a service. It's truly amazing. The list goes on. But I wanted to create, a platform that we could all come together on, not only to sell our products and services, but to really be able to empower each other, support one another. And that's when the idea of Spousely was born. So Spousely is a one-stop shop to support mil vet, spouse, and service member-owned businesses all over. I personally was getting tired of seeing, people ask in different social media groups, hey, can you recommend a photographer? Or does anybody know a real estate agent in the area? Simple things like that. And I just started thinking, I was like, how can I create a platform where people can sell both products and services on one platform? So I started putting together a business plan, coming up with some ideas, and I found a local veteran owned web developer. And I was like, look, I know this might sound a little crazy, but I need this to have a lot of functions, and this is what I'm envisioning. Can you help me do it? So kind of just threw it all out there. Obviously, we all know when we have an idea and then actually turning that idea into reality, there's a lot of hurdles, there's a lot of struggles, there's fear, there's everything that comes with it. And everybody who knows me knows I am obsessed with helping others and all business things related. So I was like, this platform is really what I need to push it. I know that I can help so many people while providing, a really unique platform for our community. So fast forward to where we're at now, we launched a little over a month ago. Everything is going really amazing. I am so, so thankful for all of our awesome vendors being with us from the start, because obviously this is a startup. We are building brand awareness right now and really just answering that question, what is Spousely? And the biggest takeaway with what is Spousely is I want everybody to know that all of our vendors are within the Mill Vet community, but everybody can shop and support on Spousely. So even if you are not in the Mill Vet community, we would love your support because, being a civilian and not being in the Mill Vet world, people love supporting our community and they want to show their support with our businesses as well. So on Spousely, you can shop services, you can shop products, you can learn about our stories, learn about, our lifestyle, and just really, really have all of us there on one platform to inspire each other. So sorry, I kind of dived into a lot there.
No, it's amazing. When I first found Spousely, I loved the idea. I thought it was amazing because, as you said, a lot of spouses are entrepreneurs, and I am not. I work outside the home, and I love what I do, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing it. But like I said, I know a lot of spouses are entrepreneurs because it is hard for us to find jobs. I've been very fortunate in moving all of the times and finding the jobs that I have, but not everybody has it that easy. And so the idea of Spousely to me is just amazing and something that we absolutely need in the spouse world. And to know that it's another spouse that created this and has made this space for all of these other mill spouses, vets, active duty, everything. Just, it warms my heart so much and it gives me goosebumps to think about it because, I'm sure, in the military spouse community, it's not always that empowering and uplifting and everything like that. I'm sure that you probably read about the spouse who was bullied and actually, took her own life because of it. So to see something so positive and empowering to me is just amazing.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And, that's the biggest thing, like you mentioned, is I really want to stress to everyone out there, both our vendors and our customers, like there's a real person behind this business. And, I am right there in the same shoes. I just want everybody to understand that when Spousely grows, we are all growing together. And that's what's truly amazing about the platform and why we're so focused right now on, building that brand awareness for Spousely is because we know as Spousely continues to grow, so do our vendors. And what's awesome about Spousely is we have vendors that are just starting out, just, starting to sell their products and services. And then we have the vendors that have been, doing this for a long time and they are much more advanced in the game and they have, just a little bit more knowledge. So just kind of, having people from all different levels is what's so exciting about the platform because everybody comes together and we become one.
Exactly. And one of the things that I love is the fact that all of the vendors are mill spouses, veterans, active duty, whatever it is, they're all military related. And I know for me personally, if I'm looking for a product or a service, I want to support another spouse rather than a big named company, because I know that somebody else's family is benefiting from this. And I
Right.
know that the spouse world is not an easy world to live in and to be in and to try to find your way in. And so if I am looking for something, I want to find a spouse before I have to go somewhere else. And to know now that there is one place that all of these people are in just makes me so excited.
Yes, and it's one of those things, and it's going to be even more exciting as we continue to grow because you will be able to find honestly a little bit of everything. So just being able to go to Spousely first when you're looking for a photographer in the area, or you're looking for some gifts to send to a friend, like that you can go on Spousely and look there first, knowing that you can support our awesome community. And we are adding new vendors daily. So if you are a MilVet spouse or service member and you would like to join our platform, we just encourage you to reach out. Our email is available on social media, as well as the website. So we, love adding and seeing new faces, seeing new products. It's so exciting. And Spousely will be featured on NBC Las Vegas News on April 6th. So I'm super excited about that. And we're also onboarding an amazing marketing team right now.
That is amazing. I mean, there are so many big things happening for Spousely. And I just, like I said, I can't express how excited I am because of the fact that I think it's such an amazing thing for our community. And to know that it only started a month ago, like it's going to go really big places.
I hope so. Just the overall positive feedback that we've been getting has been so amazing. It honestly brings me to tears just because, it's stressful taking a big leap of faith and starting a company like this and, making sure that I'm providing the tools and the resources and keeping all of our vendors engaged as well. Cause I want everybody to see the value in it. And I know as we continue to grow, it can be something truly amazing.
Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about the vendors that you have on the website
Yeah.
and not, explain to people that it's not just, oh, I need a gift or what have you. There are services offered as
Yeah.
well. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that so people are aware, it's not just if you're looking for, one specific thing. Obviously, you can go there too, but I encourage people to go browse around and see what all is there.
Yes, I encourage everybody to be doing that as well. And I'm so glad you asked because one of the most exciting things about Spousely is there is a search local option, which is huge because, like I said, if you are looking for, a service provider, whether it's somebody to create a website for you or a health coach or taxes or anything like that, even on the product side, you can go in there, you can type in your zip code or your state, and it'll actually pull up local vendors in the area that you can support that you found on Spousely. A lot of our service vendors offer services that can be done remote. So it doesn't really matter where they're located. But for our service vendors that actually have storefronts and actually, need to physically be there, that is such an awesome tool to have.
I think that is super cool because I can tell you, I have seen and I've done myself so many times spouses on Facebook groups,
Yes,
specifically looking for homecoming photographers.
right.
That's like one of the number one things that I see pop up in the Facebook spouse groups
Yeah,
is, hey, I'm looking for a homecoming photographer. And, we know as spouses that with homecoming photographers, you have to be careful of the information that you give out
right.
because, until it's happening, basically,
Yeah,
you can't give too much information out. So to know that there is that local
right.
search option, I mean, I think that is amazing because you can get on there, like you said, put in your zip code and find another military spouse or veteran or active duty option for, let's say, a homecoming photographer that's going to understand, like, I'm going to give you this 10-day date range and this 7-hour
Yes.
time frame, and I'm going to need you just to be available.
Yes, I know exactly. And that's kind of the overall goal too, is just making it easy to find product and service providers because when there's so many different social media groups going on, it kind of gets lost. So having a platform that you can go on and just find it that you'll easily be able to access is really awesome. So right now what we're doing on social media is trying to, when anybody's asking for a recommendation, we're trying to say, hey, have you heard about Spousely? Because the more the word spreads, which word of mouth has been honestly so huge. And I'm so thankful for everybody that's listening, because word of mouth honestly it's been amazing. Like I said, for both Spousely and our vendors. So continue doing what you guys are doing, because you guys are awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we as a society are really starting to get back to that whole word of mouth referral process.
Yes.
And it's huge. I work in a dentist office here, and a majority of our patients come from another patient that has referred them.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like a big deal to even just casually mention, like, oh, I like your shirt. Oh, cool. I got it off this, website called Spousely. Like,
Yes.
people start talking. And,
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, I think that I heard about Spousely through my neighbor who knows you.
That is awesome.
Yes, I think now that I'm thinking about it, her name is Shannon, and I think she's the one that told me about it.
See, and it's so funny because I keep referencing Spousely as like a circle effect, because it truly is. I feel like even, whether you're already a vendor or you're not a vendor, or you're a customer or you're not a customer, at some point we're going to cross paths. And that's obviously the overall goal with Spousely, is just to connect everybody.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest things in the mill spouse community too, is that we all know spouses can talk.
Yes.
Whether it's good or bad, we're going to be talking. And
Yes.
obviously we want that good, but word of mouth is huge, especially in the military community itself. And like you said, it is like this big circle effect, because at some point it's going to be brought full circle and it's going to be brought back. And at some point people will start to hear about Spousely.
Yes.
And that's why I was so excited to get you on here, because I want everybody to hear about it. If people are vendors and they are looking for a platform, I want them to be able to go there. But then if people are buyers, I want them to be able to go there too and know, like I said, that they're supporting another military family.
Yes, and that's so awesome. And I appreciate you helping spread word too, and just having me here today. It's so exciting getting to meet so many amazing new people.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I have loved most about this podcast. When I created this podcast, I literally one day was like, you know what? There's so much stuff that goes on in the military world. Somebody needs to talk about it. And I was like, why not? Like,
No,
literally.
I love it.
Literally.
I love where the podcasts have been going. And I think it's so amazing, because it really allows us all to connect with each other, because like you said, at the end of the day, just having those, referrals and talking to one another is what's going to make everybody continue to push forward together.
Absolutely. And I wanted a place where people, could feel like, hey, I understand. Like, I'm not the only one going through that. But then I also wanted a place where I could empower other military spouses that have maybe businesses or whatever the situation is. And I love the fact that I've gotten to meet so many people through my podcast. Like you were saying, through your business, I'm sure you have met some of the most amazing spouses ever.
Yes, everybody's story, honestly. I am so inspired by everyone, because everybody, I feel like, that's a vendor on our platform, just their stories are so amazing, whether they have different charities or different events that they give back to, or the reason why they started creating their product or selling their service. And that's something that I want everybody who's not part of the military or veteran world to be able to celebrate and, see and support just how awesome our community really is.
Exactly. And we have a lot of stories. We have a lot of things to say.
Yes, I feel like it's all good. Obviously, we go through a lot of, like I said earlier, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the above. But at the end of the day, we do have each other, and it's just a bond that is just so amazing.
Absolutely. So I want to know, and for listeners too, who can join the Spousely community? Is it a certain product that they need to have, or a certain, do they need to be a certain vendor?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like I said before, as long as, we do a approval process, so they have to be approved a MilVet spouse or service member, or, active duty, retired, all of the above. And we want to focus on handmade products on the product side. So stuff that they are actually making, but we also are allowing boutique owners as well, because at the end of the day, being a boutique owner is so awesome too. They get to bring, a collection of wonderful pieces together that they think will be great for our buyers. And so boutiques are welcome as well. If you're an owner of a boutique, the only businesses that are not allowed on Spousely are multi-level marketing businesses, also, referred to as MLMs. And that's only because we did dive into a lot of different companies' terms and conditions, and we are just respecting all of their policies. So it's nothing against, the types of products or services. It's just more of a, terms and conditions standpoint. So that's pretty much it. That's kind of excluded. Everything's listed in our terms and conditions as well. So if somebody's wondering, they can always reference that there, or shoot us over an email, because, we love chatting and getting to know everyone's business too.
Perfect. It's funny that you say that about the MLM businesses, because that's not something, as far as like their terms and conditions, that's not really something that I personally would have thought about, to be honest.
Yes.
I would have just been like, oh, cool. Like I can, do whatever. So
yeah. And that was one of the things, with legal and everything, that we just wanted to make sure we were doing everything right and respecting, other businesses' terms and conditions as well. So like I mentioned before, it's nothing against that type of business, because we all know that those businesses work really, really hard to, promote their products, get sales, and doing all of that good stuff. But just on Spousely, we just cannot have the businesses, unfortunately.
And that makes perfect sense. Now, I know we talked a little bit earlier, photographers and people like that, they're welcome to be on there. Is that correct?
Yep. So being on the service side, we have a bunch of awesome categories. So I encourage everybody to go to Spousely and check that out. Just to name a few, we have photography, coaching services, business services, health and fitness, taxes, legal, a little bit of honestly everything that you can find on the service side. Our bones are a little bare in terms of just every category being filled, but that will grow with time. Like I said, we did just launch, about a month ago, so it'll be very exciting once we continue to progress and fill all of those categories, creating a true one-stop shop.
Absolutely. And I think it is, I guess, kind of ironic that you have tax people on there, considering the time that it is.
Yes.
But I also think it's a really good thing, because being military, I know for my husband and I, like last year, he had probably 8 months of tax-free pay.
Yep.
And then I, of course, had worked in 2 different states because we PCS'd. And then, if you do own a home business, like there's a lot of things that I don't think people realize go into military taxes. It's not like you have the same job for the last 10 years. You only have 2, like, I swear, I give my tax lady like 17 different forms.
Oh, I know it's hard. And honestly, it is so amazing to have somebody that really, truly understands that, which is, part of the reason why I encourage everyone to hop on Spousely and just see the different variety of categories there, because you're right. It's somebody that can relate. It's somebody that, knows all about the different states and how all of that works.
Absolutely. Because I know one of the things that I run into working outside of the home is that my home of record is not where I live 97% of the time.
Right.
Actually, I don't know that it's ever been that.
Yeah.
But I always end up having to pay my home of record, but I get money back from where I'm working. And to have somebody that actually understands and can get that is just, I think it's great.
Yeah, no, totally. It's so awesome. And it's, like I said, it's going to be even more exciting as we continue to grow and every category gets like filled with just awesome, vendors from all over. Yeah, it's really exciting. And we did just post something the other day on our Instagram that showed a little snippet of just how crazy Spousely has spread all over the US. We have vendors all over, and it's a really cool visual if you get a chance to look at it, just seeing that we have so many vendors living in so many different awesome states.
And I think that's super cool too, because, especially if people are hand making stuff,
Yeah.
whatever they're making may be, specific to where they're living and
Right.
something that you can't get everywhere else.
Right. And even just, if you're looking for somebody to make, an order of custom shirts or custom mugs, and maybe that's not going to be, the best order to possibly order from across the US or wherever you're at, from California to Ohio, and you want somebody local that can drop them off and do all of that good stuff. That's the overall goal, is you can really find a little bit of everything.
I love it. So if we have vendors or, crafty people, as I like to call them, that want to join the Spousely community, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah. So right now we are encouraging all vendors to reach out to us by email, because we want the experience to be very personable. We want to, understand your business. We want to help you. We want to make sure you know how to list the products in your shop. And we just don't want it to be an automated process. So we're encouraging all vendors that are interested to email us, and that's support@spousely.com, and it's spouse-ly. And you can get that off of our website too. And just reaching out and saying, hey, I'm interested in becoming a vendor. Can you tell me more? And then we'll send you over the breakdown of how it works, pricing, what to expect, and all of that good stuff. And we'll basically help you, get set up and communicate back and forth that way. And then if you want to be a customer, you are able to browse the website and look at everything. But when it comes to checking out, you will have to register, just creating a free account.
That is super awesome. And I love the fact that it is such a personal experience, and that you want them to reach out to you because you want them to be personal. Because I think about, people that have Etsy shops and things like that, not saying, Etsy is a bad place.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get an email from the CEO of
Right.
Etsy saying, this is how you do this. This is what you do. We want to make sure this or that. So I love the fact that it does have that personal touch, and you are reaching out to each individual to make sure, like you said, that they're set up and that they know, how things should look and the process that the customers are going to be going through and things like that.
Right. And we even just sent out this morning to all of our current vendors to schedule some time with me to chat, because I want to hear from my vendors. I want to talk to them. I want their feedback. I just want everybody to know that, we're in this together. Like, let's grow together. So keeping it very personable is always going to be my mission and my approach. And I just want everybody to know, whether you're shopping on Spousely or another business, like you said, it's one of those things where let's just come together and let's support one another.
Yes. And that's what I love. And, specifically who I try to have on my podcast as a guest, because obviously my podcast is a reflection of me and the company that produces it.
Right.
And I want to just empower and support spouses that are empowering and supporting other spouses, because, we are a small tribe, basically. Well, probably a big tribe, but nonetheless, we are a tribe. And I love the fact that it is so personable, and you are giving all of that support and letting them know, hey, first of all, you're not alone in the military world, but second of all, you're not alone in this business world either.
Right. Yeah, I think that that's, so awesome, and just being able to connect with one another, because like we're doing today, it's so great just to, hear a voice and just talk to somebody, learn their story, and like I said, grow together.
Absolutely. So before we go, is there anything else that you want our listeners to know about Spousely other than to check it out? And I will link the website in the description of the podcast for them all, so they can go check it out, because I highly encourage you to do it. It's really amazing.
No, not really. I think we covered everything. The biggest thing that, I would love to end with is just thank you from the bottom of my heart, because like I said before, it hasn't been easy to take this big leap of faith and put a platform out there like Spousely. So just everybody's positive support and just continuing to spread word. I'm just honestly, truly very thankful.
Well, I am thankful for you and giving us such an amazing product. And I am very thankful that you were able to take the time and hop on and do this interview with me today so we can spread the word, because I think what you're doing is amazing. So thank you for being here with me today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it.